Hi guys, it's Uga and welcome back to another video. Today I'll be doing the pain over joy tag. This tag was created by Aaron Facer and was tagged by Ian from Audible Reader. So I will link both channels down below. Check Ian's channel, he's amazing. I really like him. And he has a Discord so we can buddy read books. He has amazing buddy reads planned till the end of the year, so definitely check it out. This tag is basically to talk about pain and joy on books, and I have here the questions on my computer, so let's start with no further ado. But before we dive in, don't forget to leave a comment, like and subscribe if you like my content and if you want to help this channel to grow. So, first question is, do you mostly read books illustrating pain or books illustrating joy? Why? I think most of the time it has pain. I don't know why, maybe tendency, but I definitely read books with joy. I don't have a reason. I go for genres. Thrillers, they are not happy. Fantasies can be happy, but definitely you have some pain there because the characters have to fight some evil and the evil creates pain. The romance usually are joyful, so I pick some romance or historical romance, tending to be some joy there. So I'll say 70-30 with no particular reason. The second question is, do you see books about pain as more intellectual valuable? Why or why not? No, it doesn't make sense for me. A book with pain can be as good or as bad as a good with joy, or as intellectual valuable as one. Let's take an example. The House in Cerulean Sea. It talks about pain, but it's a very warm book, and it's a book that talks about joy and hope, and it's very valuable for what it stands for. But also books from, for example, Jodie, who tackles issues, for example, 19 Minutes, which is about bullying and school shootings. It's a very painful book. It also has intellectual value, but there are books that doesn't have intellectual values. Some thrillers are just entertaining for what it is and doesn't bring an intellectual value because they are painful, and same thing for romances. So I don't think a book about pain has more intellectual value just because it has about pain. And I think this connects with the third question, that is, why do you think major book prizes like Booker or the Pulitzer mainly award books about pain? It's a little bit like the Oscars. You don't see a lot of comedies being nominated because they think there are lesser books or lesser movies. It's the same thing, I think, with these awards. People tend to think that classics are intellectual valuable than contemporary. Books about pain are much more challenging than books about joy. And I said it's the same thing with the Oscars. You see a lot of the books or the movies that are nominated are books with pain subjects, but books that are movies that are comedies are not usually nominated. And because I think it's easier to people to relate with pain or with suffering with others than to laugh, because comedy and humor is very much a personal thing more, and sometimes the joy is, people don't tend to give value to read a joyful book or read a book that makes you feel good. And definitely when you are in dark mood, that book's really up to you. So I think it's very much the pretentious part of the awards, giving books about pain instead of books about joy. I think so. I always think like that. 4. Do you use and agree with the phrase guilty pleasure? Why or why not? I never understood what was a guilty pleasure. Like, why would you feel guilty to taking pleasure on something? I love seeing rom-coms. I love to see Legally Blonde, Mean Girls. They are amazing. Every time they are on TV, I watched it. I take a lot of time listening to songs that I like from Portuguese musicians that are considered popular songs, on the terms of being like a little bit of country, more ethnic, and I really like that. And people may think that's a guilty pleasure. I take what I like and I read what I like, so I don't feel guilty about it. I felt in the past from the judgmental people, but now I start to learn that it doesn't matter. I read, listen, see what I like. Even it's the same with the shows. I love shows like Big Bang Theory, Modern Family, like comedies. I doesn't mind if it's a guilty pleasure or not. I like them, as I like series like How to Get Away with Murder or American Horror Story, things that are very different. I'll take pleasure. I don't feel guilty about it. Not even ice cream. The fifth question is, do you think books centering on joy are guilty pleasures? No, definitely not. because of the up question. And I think this question comes with the pain books being a word and more intellectual. So since joy is a lesser book, will be a guilty pleasure. I don't believe that. I don't believe that's enough. That's not at all accurate. Sorry, I've got to sneeze. Sorry, allergies still. But I was saying, it comes from the point that if you think books with pain are intellectual value, if you think they are deserve the awards, then the opposite will be a guilty pleasure for you. It will be, oh, I have to read it in secret so anyone can see that I'm reading a romance. I think we are over it right now. People can read whatever they want, how they want. We are not anyone to judge that. If people want only to read classics, good. If you don't want to pick any classics, good, it's the same. We don't like the same things, so I don't believe that books with joy are guilty pleasures. I think a book about joy will make you feel better than a book about pain, so definitely you'll feel happier. So if you think that, I forgot to put here, if you think that is a guilty pleasure, be it. 6. Do you read in secret? No. Are there books you read but never talk about because of embarrassment, shame, or guilt about liking them? No. I don't have any problem talking of any book. I have problems about talking about problematic authors because I don't want them to get promotion, but sometimes it's inevitable. There are books that are too much bigger than the author for me, and so I separate the art from the artist, and I always put a little bit of disclaimer saying, take a note, it's a problematic author, go make your mind and make your asset, but I think we can talk about them, no problem. And I don't read anything on secret. Like, why? If I want to read a smooth romance, I read a smooth romance. If I want to read a science book, I read a science book. I read whatever I want. 7. How do you tag? I tag everyone because I'm not thinking about now on tagging people, so I tag everyone who sees your tag. If you want to do this, I don't have time to check tags. I know I follow a lot of channels and a lot of people, so I don't want to go. So if you see this video, if you like the tag, consider yourself tagged. Do the tag if you want. So these are my pain over joy tag. Tell me in the comments, how do you feel about this? How do you answer these questions? Do you think a book about pain it's better than a book about joy? I would love to discuss that because I think we might have different opinions here. Yeah, don't forget to leave a comment, like, and subscribe if you reach this far. And I post videos every Tuesday, Thursdays, and Saturdays. And I'll see you guys on my next video. Bye.